Hello everybody, it's Madeline, the Fit Vegetarian, and I'd like to welcome you to part 2 of my healthy eating on a budget. So today we're going to talk about how to make your groceries last, because yesterday I talked about how you should buy in bulk because you get the better deals that way, and now we need to figure out what do we do with that big variety of food that we have, right? So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you have your refrigerator temperature setting set to the correct temperature, because which I like to keep mine at about 37 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't have it set at the proper temperature, then your food is going to spoil fast. If you have it set too high, so if the temperature is too warm, your food will spoil too fast. If it's too cold, some of your food's going to freeze, and then it's not going to be good. So that's tip number 1. Now tip number 2 has several components to it. It has to do with storing your food, okay? Now, my biggest thing that I use in my kitchen for storing foods is mason jars. So we all know what a mason jar looks like, right? I don't know about you, but when I was a little kid, I would make strawberry preserves or any kind of fruit jams, and I would use these jars that have the lid and then the collar to them. So it makes a vacuum seal, if you will, so it preserves your fruits and veggies longer. So here I have onions in this one, so I chop my onions up and I keep them in here ready to use, and they stay super fresh. Here I've got peppers, and over here I have grapes that I've just washed. And here's a little tip too: put a little napkin or paper towel on the bottom, because it helps absorb moisture and it keeps your fruit and veggies fresh longer. So you can do strawberries, and what you do is you just wash up your fruit or veggies, make sure they're super dry, okay? Slip them into your mason jar, throw the lid on it, and you're good to go. And these mason jars are super inexpensive. I got a set of 12 at for about $10 at a store called Big Lots, which is a discount store here in Southern California where I am. But I know Target has them. I'm sure Walmart does too. All the stores have them. Now, still under tip number 2 for storage. This is a Tupperware container that I bought from a lady friend of mine who was selling Tupperware, and I saw this one and it kind of caught my eye. It's kind of big, and they do sell them in different sizes, and no, I'm not selling Tupperware, but I'm just so in love with this that I have to share it with you guys. It has the different fruits and vegetables here in the front, and then up here it has a venting system that you can control how much air or moisture you want to come into it. And I use this one primarily to put my lettuce in, and I want to show you because I've had this lettuce in here for well over a week now. It's been about a week and a half, and I buy my lettuce in bulk. So and you can see it's still super fresh, it's not wilted, and this way my lettuce stays fresh for a very long time. And of course, buying it in bulk means you're saving money. Okay, so that is always a good thing. Now, something else that I want to tell you about is when you buy asparagus. We all know it's kind of expensive, right? What you do is you can use, again, one of these mason jars or even just a regular cup. Fill it with about 1 inch of water on the bottom, and you're going to chop off about 1 inch from the bottom of your asparagus, and then you just put your asparagus right in there. Put a plastic bag over it, stick it in the fridge, and it'll stay fresh for a very, very long time that way. So as opposed to just putting it in your vegetable drawer and you go to take it out a day or 2 later and it's like, nah, all wilted and sad looking, and then you don't even want to eat it because it's lost its crispness and it's just not good. That tip also works for fresh herbs like cilantro, or any other fresh herb too. You know, you just trim the bottom of your herbs and then stick them into the water. Man, they stay fresh for a long, long time. Also, green onions. The exception to this is don't chop off the little root bulb, leave the roots on, and just put those right in the water. They will stay fresh and nice and perky and just super fresh for a very long time. Now, onions and garlic, you want to store on your, well, onions, garlic, and potatoes actually, you're going to want to store in a cool, dark place and not in the refrigerator, okay? If you put potatoes in the refrigerator, what happens is that the starch that's in the potatoes turns to sugar. So then you're going to end up with like really sweet tasting potatoes, and the composition of them just changes. So you don't want to put your potatoes in the refrigerator. Keep them on the counter. I just keep mine in the counter, and I keep them by themselves. Onions and garlic, like I was saying, also those two can be stored together, but you want them in, excuse me guys, you want them in on the counter too. Let's see, what else? Foil. Foil is a great thing to use to preserve your broccoli and your celery. So your celery, you're going to cut off the bottom end so that you're left with just loose ribs of celery, and just wrap it up in foil, stick it in your vegetable drawer. Lasts much, much longer that way. Same for broccoli. Wrap it up in foil, stick it in your veggie drawer, and you're good to go for, you know, a long time as opposed to just a few days. Also, I buy spinach in a huge bag at Costco. I'm talking like a super huge bag. And I'm really the only one in my household who enjoys spinach and who eats it a lot. Like, I'll eat spinach every single day. I actually put it in my superfoods shake every single day. But I was finding that my spinach would spoil really quickly. You know, it gets moldy just after a few days, in fact. So I stick mine in the fridge, the entire bag. I just stick the whole bag in the fridge, and when I need it, it's super simple to just pop out what I need. It's not like it turns into a big glob that gets frozen in one big chunk. You can easily just take out what you need. Super simple, and you will never waste money on your spinach again. This one really blew my mind, so I hope you guys are sitting down for this one, because when I learned this trick, I was like, for real, does that really work? This one is about avocados. I'm an avocado lover. They have great healthy fats for you. And so I buy them in bulk because, again, I'm saving money, right? But what happens when you buy them in bulk is that they all ripen at the same time, and there are only so many avocados you can eat at one time. Well, you guys, when your avocados ripen, put them in the freezer. Oh my gosh, like, right? I mean, who knew? Put them in the freezer. When you want your avocado, take it out, leave it on the counter for a while. When it's thawed out, it's good as new. Unbelievable. Super money-saving tip right there, you guys. You're welcome. I was like, when I found that one out, I could not believe it. Let me see, what else did I want to tell you guys? Bananas. Bananas are another one that go ripe really, really quickly. And you can do bananas one of two ways. One way is you, I don't have any bananas. I'm actually running to Costco after I'm done here with this, because we're low on all of our produce. But you get the whole bunch of bananas, and you get some plastic wrap, and you wrap it around the stem that holds all the bananas together, and that prevents the bananas from ripening too quickly. Now, if you want to go the extra mile, like if you want some bananas to ripen faster than others, you can separate them and just wrap the individual stems of the ones that you want to hold off on their ripening process. So, and what the plastic wrap does is it prevents the ethylene gas, which is the gas that fruits give off as they ripen. Okay, it prevents it from seeping out and ripening the fruit. So there's another tip for you for your bananas. Now, let's talk dairy. I buy cottage cheese and yogurt, again, in bulk because it saves money. Plus, it saves trips to the grocery store, right? I mean, I don't like to be at the grocery store multiple times a week. I don't have time for that. So what you want to do is, rather than storing your yogurt and your cottage cheese the regular way with the lid on top, right? Just flip it upside down. And by flipping it upside down, you're prolonging the shelf life, because, or not the shelf life, but you know, the freshness of it, because you're preventing air from coming in from between the lid and the container. Because, like, for example, with mason jars, right, the whole purpose is that it has this individual little lid, and then this collar clamps down and it prevents air from seeping in there, right? So no air is going to get in there. So it's a vacuum seal. That's why whatever is in here stays fresh longer. But with yogurts, and especially with cottage cheese, it's not a vacuum seal. So a little bit of air is always going to seep in. And then that distance that you have between the air and the product, well, that's just a wonderful breeding ground for mold to start developing fast. So just flip it upside down, and you will prolong the freshness of your cottage cheese and yogurt. Also, the last tip, now this one I haven't personally tried, so I'd be interested to know if any of you out there have tried it, and let me know what you think. They're these little balls that you can buy, and they're called ethylene gas balls, basically, or absorbers. Ethylene gas absorbers, that's what they're called. And they're little balls, and some of them are shaped like little apples. I'll include a link in the description of this video, so you can see what, you know, what they are. But the whole theory behind it is that, as I mentioned before, fruits and veggies give off ethylene gas, or fruits rather, as they're ripening. And so what you do is you put this ball in there, and it absorbs that gas. So the gas isn't hanging around in your veggie drawer, right, or in your fruit drawer. The fruit will last longer. So this little ball, this little gadget, it absorbs the ethylene gas, and it makes your produce last longer. Like I said, I haven't personally tried this one. I think maybe I should order it and see if it actually does work. But again, if any of you have tried it, I would love to hear your feedback about it, and let me know how that works, and if it works. So those are my tips for you today to make your produce last longer. I hope you found those helpful, and tune in next time. I'll have probably a new topic for you, and if you have any suggestions as to a topic that you want me to research for you or to do a video on, let me know and I will do that. All right, you guys, remember to always fuel up for a fit life and make it a great day. Bye-bye.